Star Trek is truly one of the most iconic shows ever created, dating all the way back to the 1960s. And the franchise remains a pop culture phenomenon, creating new Trekkies across multiple generations.
Love it.
New Trekkies born every minute. A new animated series called Star Trek Prodigy follows a crew of young aliens navigating a greater galaxy in the year 2383. And what makes it all the more unique is that it's the first Star Trek show that's geared towards kids. Here's a clip from season 1.
So we can keep track of you. I love you, Murph. Don't worry.
Energize.
Open it.
Murph?
Murph?
Where's Murph?
He should be right here.
Yes. Murph? Oh, he just keeps going, doesn't he?
All right, so the man behind the voice of Murph is Dee Bradley Baker, and he is joining us now to talk about this. Welcome. Oh my God. That's amazing. How are you?
He's having almost as much fun as I am.
So all right, let's talk about, Anne-Marie knows I'm a huge Trekkie.
Yeah.
Have been since I was a little kid. I always, when I sort of discovered Star Trek as a child, I thought it was for kids because my parents were like, why are you watching that crap on TV, you know? So tell us about how this show fits into the Star Trek universe and why specifically it's for kids.
Well, this is such a great show. I mean, you know, when I was a kid watching Star Trek like you, I literally asked my dad if I could have my ears surgically modified to have Spock ears. I really did that. I thought that it was so cool. And like you're saying, I never took Star Trek as a grown-up show. I loved it as a kid. It was one of my favorite shows. This show sets the Star Trek universe, it centers them around a group of kids who have found themselves aboard a ship, and so they're discovering this universe. But it's very much part of the same universe of adventure and fun and following curiosity, which I think also really relates to being a kid very much as well.
Dee, I want to ask you about Murph, who is adorable. I don't know if Murph is huggable because I'm not quite sure what Murph is made out of. But, you know, you're a voice actor, and I'm curious about the challenge of creating a voice for a creature that does not use words. Because to me, he sounds a little bit like my cat Monk, who's kind of like a chirper, and like a dolphin.
Yeah. Well, it's very much an acting exercise. A lot of what I do is creatures and monster sounds in animation and movies and television. And so the key is to do something that's not just about the sound effects, but that's actually bringing a character to life in a specific scene, in a specific story. And because of my background in doing improv and stand-up and other weird things that are not just straight ahead like Shakespearean acting, that I like doing the weird stuff. And so I like, you know, doing the... I like doing the weird stuff with my voice, but I channel it through acting, and then it comes out as a character that you actually can identify with and relate to.
Wow. So wait, but how do you, so this is an interesting question. How do you not repeat yourself when you're working as a voice actor and doing so many films and TV shows that have these kinds of creatures? I mean, in your head, in my head, I'm like, I could probably only do like 3 or 4 sounds. They would probably all be a variation of Chewbacca or, you know, the Mummy, like, right? Like, so how do you do you like that? Like
I do.
So how do you come up with something different every time a producer comes to you and says, hey, we got another kind of monster that, you know, we want you to articulate?
Well, that's a great question, because what you don't want in a show, whether you have a human character or an animal or a creature character, is something that's generic and flat. And that is really defined by the writing and also by the visuals. So it really, like Star Trek is one of those shows, almost like the Twilight Zone, where the reason people really loved that show and why it really stayed and then flowered as it is now into all these wonderful shows that you can see on Paramount Plus right now is the writing. The writing was really good and relevant and interesting, and that gives the actor a lot of latitude to work with. And then you're working in a fantasy realm, or in this case, really science fiction fantasy, where you can take it much further than just your regular terrestrial dogs and cats and human beings. You can go much further than that. So it's a great broad palette that you can paint from, and that's only constrained by the imagination, really, of the writers and the animators and illustrators who you're working with to create these things.
Dee, that's true because it's science fiction, but when it comes to Star Trek, and Trekkies like my pal here, they have an encyclopedic knowledge of the universe. Oh, very good. Of the universe, of the storylines. Like, you have to sort of remain within that reality. So then I ask you this question, because in between shows, I went down a rabbit hole, and I blame you because Murph was so cute. Then I was like, well, what is a Murph, and why is it called a Murph?
Species.
And I see there's all kinds of speculation online. So, like, I don't know if you know, did the writers tell you? Because I read some stuff on Twitter that I want to, like, fact check. Do you know what Murph is?
I haven't spoken to the keepers of the canon, so I often will be doing things that I'm not quite exactly sure what they are or where they're going, and the writers and the showrunners know better than I do. And that is the case here. But I can tell you that and that's interesting that you mentioned that, because there is a large, broader mythology that this is part of. It's not just a standalone entity. It is part of the whole mythology of these stories playing out. And so there's a lot of established fact and stories and histories that this will be woven into, and gradually the people watching it will be able to see that. But one of the wonderful things about Star Trek Prodigy is that you don't have to know about the previous mythology of Star Trek. You can jump right into it as a kid or as a new fan and enjoy a show that's clear and appealing and adventurous and fun, and has this sense of following curiosity. And it brings the optimism that science and a positive view of what humans can do working together in a collaborative way, as you do with science, brings. And so it's really good on so many levels that even an old fan such as myself can watch the show and say, oh, I recognize that. Oh, this feels like Star Trek. You know, there's a transporter that's being discovered. And there's a lot of science behind all this stuff, because they've got scientific advisors working with them on making the shows. So there's a lot of science in these shows to add to the adventure and the fun.
It's so true what you say, Dee, that ultimately why Star Trek has been so successful over the years is because of some of those universal human themes that you've talked about. And I love that you pointed out that it's the writers who actually inspire you to come up with these voices, because some of the monsters and creatures I referenced earlier, like, you know, the mummy and Frankenstein, probably the idea was that they don't speak, they don't communicate, right? They just speak in these, or they just have with words. But you, even though we don't recognize what the sounds are, it is a form of communication, and you do it so well. Dee Bradley Baker, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
This is so great. Really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Can you do it?
I think. Am I doing it right?
Come on,
I don't know.
Amber. She's been here with me for 7 years.
I look like I'm just saying number four over and over.
High four. Right.
Thank you, Dee. We appreciate it.
Thank you.